in our relationships to seek to gain that harmony in our relationships. That's how we find peace. Peace isn't just the absence of conflict. Peace is our harmonious relationship with one another and with life. And then she shared with resolution without compromise. How we can be non-resistant in our life, allowing people their space, and in turn allowing ourselves our space. Being true to who we are, and allowing others to be true to them. Self, their expression, their manifestation. So as we begin to move into looking at the situations that we can experience as win-win, that allows us to move into experience peace. And what we want to do here at InnerQuest is take it out of the dream state and make it reality. We want to live peace, don't we? We've been dreaming it for a real long time. They say we should dream into this world what we want to experience, and it's time to make it happen. We live in a beautiful time. The energy is supporting us in doing this. So today I want to talk about Jesus' walk of peace. Jesus' walk of peace is the same as our walk of peace. Peace, the will to do good. Peace, the will to do good. That's a nice definition of peace, isn't it? The will to do good. An affirmative invocation. We're invoking that higher power, invoking God to flow through us. So the will to good, goodwill to all. The will to good, goodwill to all brings us into that state of peace. And peace, when we begin to use that invocation, use me as a channel of peace, God. What we're doing is we're beginning to become divinely attentive to who we really are. Attending our divine nature. And I think that's the kind of step we're on right now, is to be attending to our divine nature, who we really are. We are spirit, we are love. And to begin to tend that garden, so that quality and aspects and all those joyous energies of love can just flow from us all. We can blossom forth. That's that. So, attending to our divine nature. I want to read a little bit of chapter 113 in the Aquarian. And they're at Jesus and his disciples and some of the masters that are walking with him. They're at Mary's home. And Lamas, he was a man that he met in India. His name is Lamas, Brahmas. And Lamas said, "Pray tell us, Lord, is this the dawn of peace? We've come forth unto the time when men will war no. Have we come forth unto the time when men will war no more? Are you indeed the Prince of Peace that holy men have said would come?" So here's what Jesus says. And Jesus said, "Peace reigns today, but it's a peace of death. A stagnant pool abides in peace. When waters cease to move, they soon are laden with the seeds of death. Corruption dwells in every drop. The living waters always leap and skip about like lambs in spring. The nations are corrupt. They sleep within the arms of death, and they must be aroused before it's too late. In life, we find antagonists at work. God sent me here to stir unto the depths the waters of the sea of life. Peace follows strife. I come to slay this peace of death. The Prince of Peace must first be Prince of Strife." Wow, have we heard that very much about the life of Jesus, the Prince of Peace? And a lot of times we'll see movies and everything, and we just see this beautiful soul just at peace all the time, sitting down in contemplation and meditation. But if you start studying it and really look at what was really happening, how he lived his life, Jesus rocked the boat. Jesus stirred that pot, because what he had to do was enact the life force energy back into raised consciousness, back into man. Say, his whole walk, Jesus' walk of peace, when he was a little child, and he traveled and went to India and China and Tibet and Greece and all these lands, he would always ask questions. He would ask questions. And in asking the questions, he was infusing the energy, the consciousness with the Christ love, the love of God, the light of God. And whenever we infuse that Christ energy into anything or anyone, there begins a quickening, and all that which is resistant to that love and light of God comes up so that we can begin to look at it. And then it's our option or our choice to let go. To let go. To be attentive to our divine nature. To be attentive to our divine nature. So the Prince of Peace, his effect was changed through movement and action. Jesus' walk was to lift the consciousness of man on earth. To lift the consciousness of man on earth. And we might hear all the time, Jesus came to save us. In a sense, he did save us, because as we quickened and lifted to the divine birthright, I am Son of God, I am Daughter of God, I am Spirit, now our choices are going to reflect that. It's going to reflect the truth of who we are. Being divinely attentive to who we are. To being attentive to the divine being I am. Jesus' walk is our walk. Wasn't Jesus attentive to his divinity every step of his journey? He never wavered. He stood forth in the love and light I am, the truth of God. And he didn't mind rocking the boat, because he didn't rock the boat just to rock it and to be an antagonist. He rocked the boat so that people could maybe get their sequence interrupted a little bit, so they might get a new vision, a new perception. And his walk was continually that. Let's look at it this way. Let's look at it that way. So some of these earth-shattering concepts or precepts that he presented, the first one, God's a God of love. That was pretty radical back then, because their God at that time was law, and not a happy guy either. And then he taught about the God within, God immanent. God's within you. That's what he said. God's within you. God's within me. And then he said, God's within all. God transcendent. So Jesus' walk was perfect God immanent. He radiated and lived Christ consciousness. And he was aware of God transcendent to call it forth in everyone that he saw, to see it in every situation that was going on. That's the walk of the Christ. That's our walk. To be attentive to our divinity. And I think that when Cindy shared about resolution without compromise, that's how we can be divinely attentive. See, attentive to our divinity, being true to who we really are, making choices from that awareness. Making choices from that awareness. And every step of the way, he gave people the option to choose if they wanted to. Pretty radical stuff. Pretty radical stuff. You mean I can choose? Wasn't their mindset. Okay. Okay. He never condemned or judged anyone. Never condemned or judged anyone. He merely presented a higher perception. Perception. And so, with this perception, now we have the option to choose. Do I want to shift or not? I love Jesus. We hear so many stories about him. We're a healing center here also. So we do a lot of healing work. So we really talk about a lot of the healing stories that Jesus, healings that he effected within people and everything. But you know what? He gave everyone free will. Jesus would say, would you be healed? Would you be healed? If they wanted to be healed, sure, great. If they didn't want to, sure, great. What? You see? Honoring the free will, the sole choice of another. They're learning through this journey. We're all learning through our journey. Each and every one of us. We're on a soul journey. We're trying to find out our journey. We're trying to understand who we really are. That's where, like, pull that log out of your eye before you pull the sliver out of somebody else is all about. They might not see or understand their journey. Do we? But if we attend to our divinity and stay on our path, what do I need to be concerned with? What do I need to look at? What do I need to express at this moment in time? You see? Now I'm on purpose. My individual soul purpose. And then Jesus always say, the power lies within. The power lies within you. The power lies within us all. And that's where we're really going now. And when we begin to look at the power of thought, when we look at the nature of quantum physics and quantum mechanics, how we create with our thoughts, to begin to understand how powerful our thoughts are and what thoughts am I choosing to hold. You know, when we read that story and he's talking about the nations and the people and the families, they were probably attending more to their ego nature than their divine nature, wouldn't you say? Wait a second, people. It's not working, you know. Let's let all that crap come up so they can be transmuted by love. Now we can get a glimpse at our feeling, whew, this is who I am. To begin to feel the love within my heart. To begin to have a right relationship with the people that are around me. That we begin to experience what true peace is. True peace isn't walking on eggshells. Ooh, I can't do this. No. It's sharing who I am and with a constructive, positive, love-based conversation. What's happening here? What's happening here? Come from our heart and seek to connect with the heart of another. That's the walk of Jesus Christ. It's our walk. Always attending to our divinity. You see? And that's the love. That's that spark of light, that love I am. We are moved, you know, to take a step. We look at a situation and we discern what's happening here. You see? Go within, what's happening here? And if we go within and ask within, we'll get an answer or guidance on an action step. What am I to do now? See, what am I to do now? I'm not going to react from the past. I'll be present, be in the moment, connected with God. We talk a lot about energy and chakras and stuff like that, and so when we're coming to those situations with people and there might be conflict or something like that, you know, they're coming at us in their solar plexus, achieving energy, you know, controlling, you know. So if we go back at them with our solar plexus, boom, you see, conflict gets bigger. So the first thing that we should do when we get into a situation like that, so, hey, they're coming at me and they're solar, they're aggressive maybe. So now we lift up into our brow chakra, our higher vision, and say, what's really happening here? Show me what's happening. See, connect with God. Show me what's happening. Get an idea of what's going on. Go back to our heart. Go back to that love center. And now speak from our heart. Act from our heart. Listen. It's the Father within. Being attentive to our divinity. See, we have choices like that. We can choose conflict or not. We all know people who love conflict. We all know people who love peace. Balance. Balance. We don't want to run away and hide on a mountaintop or a cave just so we can have peace. The old Eastern Indian adage is, you go to the mountaintop and you get your enlightenment, then you go down to the marketplace where there's a hustle and bustle. And there's every shade of consciousness that you get to experience and have a right relationship with. Then you'll be a master. Jesus said it's easy to love those who love you. Love those who spite you, talk bad about you. You see? It doesn't matter what anyone else does. It matters what we do. I'm going to attend to my divine nature, and my divine nature is love. Unconditional love. And so I'm going to act from that awareness. And each time we act from that awareness, it clears a little bit more of that residual debris that we're carrying around. so we can feel our unique love greater. It can flow easier, to be natural. Jesus came to raise the vibrational frequency of this planet. Boy, that's religious, isn't it? There's a roar of laughter in the crowds. To raise the vibrational frequency of this planet. Let's look at our planet today. Could it use a little lifting, would you think? So if we look at the planet and just observe, discern, we're not going to judge anything. We're just going to look at it. And then, what can I do? What can I do? What am I going to give to this mixing bowl? What recipe am I going to give to it? So, if I react to it from my solar or a lower chakric energy, you see, everything has a purpose. So what are we going to lift up? Okay, why is this really happening? What is being taught here? What is being learned here? What opportunities are being presented here? Show me. I'm going to go into my heart. What's mine to do? What's mine to do? That's the walk of Jesus the Christ. That's the walk of us. That's where we're at right now. Jesus came at the beginning of the Piscean age. We're at the beginning of the Aquarian age. The energy is a lot more heightened now. We all can feel that greater support in our unique expression of who we are. Grab a hold of it. Take it. Put your sail up and catch that life force energy that'll help us to navigate through our life. And the higher we can navigate through our life, we are one. When one is helped, all are helped. It's not selfish. It's selfless. When we connect with our heart and that divinity, I am. His was a life of love and action. Love and action. So, as we begin to love our neighbor as ourselves, you see, that takes action. Love God with our whole heart, mind, soul, and strength. That takes action. We take it out of here and put it in here and give it out to the world. We always have opportunities to choose. Jesus gave everybody opportunities to choose. Remember the story about the pregnant lady who everybody wanted to stone? You ever see the movie? So Jesus gives people a choice, okay, to be attentive to their divinity, okay? Because they're in the law in their heart, he says. He who is without sin cast the first stone. You see? At that moment in time, he was giving them choice, didn't he? He didn't condemn them or judge them and say, you're bad to do this, you can't do it. You see? He didn't stand up on a higher podium and look down and say, this is what you should do or need to do. He gave them an opportunity to be true to who they truly are. And this is the Christ energy. He's got the Christ energy. It's not just a man. That's boom, going out and touching the hearts, quickening the Christ within each person there. Let he who is without sin cast the first stone. Then in the movie, he sits on the ground and he's got his eyes closed and he's a perfect picture of peace. And then when he opens his eyes, the crowds are gone. The crowds are gone. The only person left is the lady, the adulteress, who was pregnant. She comes up to him. He tells her, go and sin no more. Didn't judge her. Hey, you lucked out this time. I saved you. No. Change your pattern. Change your behavior. Quit thinking and living the way that puts you into a situation. Go and sin no more. People, we always have options and we always have choices. And it's really easy to just default and revert back to the past and to revert to race consciousness patterns also. See, when Jesus came to stir that pot, that was race consciousness that needed to be woken up to a new way of living. And right now, as we enter this new age and the energies are heightened, it's moving through. And I will just guarantee that everyone here in this room right now and everybody on the planet is going through something in their life. Because this new energy is coming in, it's quickening, and it's stirring things up. Chemicalization. Time to let this stuff go. You see? It doesn't serve us now. It may have served us in the past. 2014, almost 15. Be attentive to our divinity. The Aquarian age, the age of spirituality, the age of enlightenment. The age of brotherhood. How about harmony, peace, understanding? We should have sang that song today, shouldn't we? Welcome to the age of Aquarius. So to begin to look at all of our opportunities that we have to allow our divinity, our higher nature, wherever we're at, to express. When I was young, I was in my 20s, and I was going through a lot of stuff. So I was living in New Orleans, and I was doing carpentry work. And so we did a lot of work outside of town. It was a building a big subdivision. I worked for this man. I won't give you his name. It was Mr. T. And he was he was an old guy, kind of like, he was an older guy. An older consciousness too. Old male consciousness. And so I got this job, and it was really neat. He really liked me, and I was just progressing, boom, 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 and I was doing real good. And like building houses and everything, and got crews and everything. And the only thing about this guy that didn't resonate with my divinity and my awareness of where I was at that moment in time, which maybe wasn't that high. It's probably not that high now. But he was 70-something, Southern, born in Louisiana swamps. And we would hire people. We needed laborers, we needed workers and everything. And this guy was, and I don't say this judgmentally, this is like an observation that I got to experience. He was a prejudiced person. And if people came and got a job, no matter what, he made them laborers. And he would pay them less than he would pay other laborers. You see? And they couldn't progress. He wouldn't let them, because in his mindset, you see, this is old male action going on here. This is the way it was. This is history. Everybody breathe. He treated me great. And I went to him one day, I said, I can't work for you any longer. Why? Man, I need you. Blah, blah, blah. And I said, I cannot stay here because of the way you treat these people. It hurts me. It hurt me when he was being discriminatory towards other people. Because I could feel their oneness. I was one with them. It didn't matter what position I had in the company. No one needed to be treated like that. And I said, and I wasn't mean or angry or nothing. I just said, I can't work for you any longer. It was as simple as that. I was like, oh. He wasn't going to change. And I wasn't going to change. I wasn't going to compromise who I was. And I didn't ask him to compromise who he was. He had a choice. And then I went and I got another job, a better job. I made more money. I got a promotion. I became like a superintendent with a big construction company down there. And sometimes I'd eat lunch with the crews of men. And one day I was eating lunch with them. And I was just talking about, I like to talk about philosophy and spirituality. This isn't really the topic of job sites. See? So, who I am, and I'm just putting new ideas out. Look at this, And I was sharing something. And this one guy goes, Patrick, you need to get hard. I looked at him and said, I've been hard. I'm trying to get soft. You see? See? it's not about my ego and being macho. I already knew I'd been hard, and it wasn't for me. It's not who I am. I want to support my divinity. I want to support my spirit. And it means letting go of some of this rigidness and some of this hardness and some of this ego. And all of us have those opportunities to be true to ourselves. We don't have to compromise who we are. People have the right to be who they are. But don't we have the right to be who we are? I love that. What I do lately is to help me get softer, and consciously God had to really grab a hold of me and just tell me some stuff. And so now I really am at the point where I can truly and lovingly give everyone free will. And that's awesome. There's no strings attached, no opinion, no judgment. To give people free will. It's an awesome gift. And as you give forth that energy, giving it forth from your heart, it begins to come back to you. And people begin to accept you as you are, free will. See, that's the walk of the Christ. See, that's what Jesus did. Didn't tell anybody they had to do anything. Change your behavior a little bit. If you choose to change your behavior a little bit, watch out, things are going to happen. And it's probably going to be a lot more happy than it's been. Attending to our divine nature. Attending to our divine nature. When we begin to embody, see that's what it is, we're embodying that Christ nature. A lot of times we say here, get ready into meditation or even doing one, we will say, I now call forth my divine Christ that I am presence to be fully present in my physical body. You see, we ask that. I ask to feel my divine Christ that I am presence. See, it's who we are. Well, we've clothed it with ego and laws and rigidity and hardness, you see? So we called it forth it, and it's holding this vibration, it begins to move stuff out, you see? The darkness cannot stand before the light. So this love just begins to radiate through we cleanse the temple. Now we can begin to feel, wow, this is what it feels like. This is who I am. We have the opportunity to gift ourselves daily. To be attentive to our divinity in the simplest actions or words that we speak. But it's time to make it real. It's time to move that veil of dream, sleep, and walk into life and live life. That's the walk of Jesus the Christ. He lived it. He lived it. He's still living it. And as we call forth our divine Christ-like presence and start doing our life, you're going to look next to you and you're going to see Jesus stand next to you. Because like attracts like. This is where we live. It's a beautiful opportunity that we all have. And it's ours to choose. Jesus' walk of peace. Action. Let's go with him. So let's just close our eyes and breathe. And once again, as we breathe in, let's breathe in with the intention to breathe in God's love. So as you inhale, I breathe God's love. God's love is filling me now. I feel it. And just breathe and feel that warm, radiant energy moving through your body. And feel your body getting soft and receptive to greater love. I breathe God's love. God's love is flowing through me now. I know it. I feel it. And I thank God, my Father, that I can accomplish all things. So just breathe and feel your heart center radiant and strong. Feel your whole body an instrument of love. Just love. Take no thought, just feel. Just feel the love I am. And in this consciousness, feeling the love of God, the love I am. I want you to envision your house. And as you stand in your house or apartment, just look around. Just observing. No judgment. Just going to look around. And from your heart, I want you to say, I can flow more love. I can flow more love. And just breathe and just feel that love just radiating from you. No thought, just love. That pure love just radiating from you into your home, into your apartment, into your space. I can flow more love. And just breathe and feel God's love just radiant from your heart, your beingness. I can flow more love. And just see and feel this love just going throughout your whole home, apartment, your space. It's as simple as that. Take no thought. Take no thought. The love of God, the love I am, flows through me now. I can flow more love. And as you look around, you might see things shifting. You might not. It doesn't matter. You've allowed greater love to flow into your world. And love knows the perfect action. So breathe and take your awareness back into your heart. And just feel your heart. And within your heart, say, thank you, God. Take a deep breath. As we exhale, we just fill this room with greater love. And when you're ready, just gently open your eyes. Peace, the will to do good. Will to good. Goodwill to all. Goodwill to all. Peace. When peace has been restored to planet Earth, Christ will reappear. Christ reappears daily to those who are attentive to their divinity. The time is now. And so it is. You got it.